Hello, we're late in the evening. I decided to the garden. I don't know why, because it's got a bit chilly. But we're joined on the line by Phil Brown. This guy is a Manchester United fan. He also is a broadcast journalist, and you will know him from Beyond the Pitch, an incredible football. We can't really call it a podcast anymore, can we, Phil? Because he's been snapped up by NBC.
Yeah, well, we do a bit of everything. We're doing video, we're doing podcasting, we're doing a number of different things and adjusting to the modern world of media. So, we've got a multi-year contract with NBC, and we just started that, which is great.
Smashing it. Congratulations for all your success so far, buddy. I've
Thanks,
known you
man.
since the start of all of it, so it's been absolutely amazing for me to watch it just grow and
Thanks,
explode. Let's chat about United today, though. Less than convincing, should I say, against Celta Vigo the other night. How are you feeling?
Yes. Well, I was asking before the game, is it possible to have style, substance and pragmatism from this United team, or is it only possible to have one of them? And I think Mourinho, if he's still playing next season, I'll be really, really disappointed. So the end goal is they're in the Europa League final, which is something you would have taken before the start of the season. If he wins the Europa League, gets United in, no one's going to remember how he played. If he wins the Europa League, gets United the Champions League next season, I think it's been a successful season.
I was going to say, where did you stand on the whole top four or Europa League champions argument? Would you rather the trophy in Champions League football, or would you rather top four and bin off the Europa League? Which sort of camp were you in?
Well, I mean, it's two answers to this. If you finish top four, it's more to me it's more illustrative of the fact that you have a team that's closer to winning the title. If you're finishing outside the top four and qualifying through winning the Europa League, whilst that's encouraging that you're able to do that, it's not encouraging in the sense that you finished outside the top four. And I don't think the table lies. I think United will finish exactly where they are in this league, where they stand. But Mourinho, without a doubt, has underachieved. If you look at his first press conference, Ben, he said that he expected United to be in the Champions League in 2017 in July. I don't think he meant by winning the Europa League. So with that squad, injuries or not, he should have been finishing in the top four.
Do you think in some ways he underestimated the squad he had? I mean, look at we've had post-Fergie, we've had Moyes, we've had Van Gaal. You could say underachieved big time with both of the squads. You look at the changes that have been made in the squad. We hear fans talk about dead wood all the time. Do you think that he did underestimate the group of players he had and how good they were?
No.
Or sorry, overestimate. I think that would be the word.
Yeah.
Do you think he overestimated how good they were?
No, I think what he didn't know and what he soon found out was the problems that exist inside United's dressing room, which have nothing to do with talent, which have to do with psychological issues. As we've seen him calling out Luke Shaw, he called out Chris Smalling, he called out Henrik Mkhitaryan earlier in the season, and he's been consistent about applying that to everybody. It doesn't matter who you are. Same with Wayne Rooney. So this psychological weakness that exists inside United, I think he underestimated that, but I think it's really difficult to anticipate what you're going to be confronted with that.
Well, unless you're Ashley Young, and apparently you're Lionel Messi, according to Jose Mourinho, with the way he talks about him. What about one guy in particular, Marouane Fellaini? He was in the Europa League Team of the Week. He got Player of the Week as well. A few people were shocked when he was even mentioned in the Man of the Match United poll on Twitter after the game. I didn't think he was that good. What do you make of Fellaini? Do you think United fans are taking to him more now? Do you think he was the standout player on Thursday?
To the fan, I don't think you and I or anybody else particularly appreciates him because it doesn't do anything eye-catching. Most of the time when you see Fellaini, he's either getting embroiled in controversy or doing something unflattering. However, I think there's a clue here. When Ryan Giggs said that one of the reasons why Fellaini gets picked every week is because he does everything that a manager asks him to do, I think that's why Mourinho likes him. And I think that's why Van Gaal liked him. I think that's why Moyes liked him, is you can rely on him and you can trust him.
Basically.
Well, maybe not that. Maybe just look, you keep it simple with Fellaini. Go do this, and trust is a big thing with players. And if you look at that game on Thursday night, Mourinho said it was the biggest game for United in their history, which obviously was an exaggeration, but you understood what he was getting at. And you look who was on the bench. That tells you who he trusts and who he doesn't trust. He doesn't trust Rooney. He doesn't trust Jones. He doesn't trust Smalling. So Fellaini plays because he trusts him.
Yeah, and to be fair, with Fellaini as well, it's the clumsiness, I think, that gets most Reds. It gets me. It's just it's stupid fouls he doesn't have to make. It does my head in completely. Anyway, he is the Europa Player of the Week, and he has scored in his last 3 semi-finals for United. So basically, he is the Brazilian Ronaldo of this United team right now, Phil, right?
I think that United must get to a place where Fellaini's not the answer. I think whenever this United team must evolve to a position where when it's the last 20 minutes and you need a goal, Fellaini's the one being taken off and not being put on. Ultimately, look, he's not a world-class talent. We know that. And I don't trust him in big games. I always feel like there's a sending off in Fellaini. There's something stupid in him. And you can't coach intelligence. They either have it or they don't. So to me, look, he's not a talent I trust in big games.
You mentioned it there, Phil, slightly, goals. Is this a worry at the moment? United aren't scoring. We don't have anyone in our team who looks like scoring. Every game, you wonder where the goals are coming from. Although you look at the talent in the side, in the squad, Rashford's very much still up and coming. Mkhitaryan hasn't really shed himself in the best light. Martial, you question his effort, and also Lingard, is he United quality? Is the lack of goals worrying, and also the poor home form as well? Although it goes out the window for the Europa League final, should that be a worry going into next season?
There's no question. It's the number one thing and they'd have to address. It's the reason why they're not in the top 4. No other reason. Because they haven't beaten teams. Look, if you look at Ibrahimovic's injury and you look at Rojo's injury, arguably both of them don't happen if United put Anderlecht away in that first leg, because most likely they wouldn't have played in the second leg. And that profligacy has cost United time and time and time again, and it almost cost them, came within a whisker of costing them again in the Europa League semi-final. So for me, number one issue United must address, because I think Mourinho has a defence right.
Yeah, what is it? Sorry, Phil, what is it? We've got like the third best defensive record for goals conceded per game ratio in Europe right now. I think it's only Bayern Munich who would have sunk today because the amount of goals they conceded against Leipzig and Real Madrid, which are above us. I think we're now second in that table, which is unreal, unbelievable.
Well, look, the first thing Mourinho's going to do is build a team from the back and make them hard to beat. So United haven't been quite good enough to win games, but haven't been bad enough to lose them. So he's done a terrific job getting United hard to beat, don't concede goals. That's the sign that you have a foundation of a team being built. So I'm positive about it. I think he's done a brilliant job overall, even though he's underachieved.
I think the same. I think the same has done a great job, and I think most people would agree with you as well. We're looking towards the final then. Let's put sort of 3 questions into one here. Where are the goals going to come from? Should we be wary of the Ajax age, and will experience play a part?
I think experience is overrated, as we saw with Monaco, as we saw with this Ajax team. I think, as we saw the other night, whenever experienced Premier League winners, United started the game against Celta Vigo with one Premier League winner in the lineup, which was Valencia. All the rest of them were sitting on the bench. So I don't think it plays a big part. I think United's biggest threat comes from one of the most inexperienced players in Rashford. I think the next 2 games, league games, are going to be really telling. Martial must show that he is good enough to play in that final, because I don't think Jesse Lingard has his place nailed down, which is why I want to see him play well tomorrow. So, United start with it as the favourite, obviously, but that's a very dangerous Ajax team, and where they're strong, United are weak.
Yeah, are you wary of Ajax? I mean, of course, young. Of course. They've got plenty of goals in them, although it didn't work out against Lyon in France. I mean, should United be worried about that pacing behind?
Without a doubt. And United just lost their best defender. Look, the 2 best defenders they've had since Bailly's been the best defender by far. But Rojo, since he's been left in the centre back position, that's been United's best player. Neither of them's available. Daley Blind is not a centre-back. I imagine Smalling and Jones will play at the weekend, play tomorrow against Tottenham. But neither of them I would trust against quick centre-backs, and nor does Mourinho. So for me, big concern, absolutely.
One question quickly on the upcoming games. As you mentioned there, Smalling and Jones probably in tomorrow. Mourinho's obviously alluded to resting players and playing the under-23 side against Palace, which is 3 days before the final. Do you believe in keeping the players out, resting them between now and the final, or do you think that they need games for consistency? How would you be approaching it?
He has to rest them. Like when he brought Pogba on needlessly against Burnley when the game was won, Pogba got injured. Can't afford any more injuries going into that final. So Ajax don't have a game between now and the final. The 13 days, total of 13 days rest. United have no choice.
Yeah.
They must rest their best players. So absolutely. But I just don't want to see them surrender like they did against Arsenal. I want to see players go there to play
to win
for a place in the final.
Yeah, definitely. And put in mind, as you said, there's so many questionable positions in the side at the moment.
Yes.
So many. I looked at, we'll do a different program on this, Phil. Me and you love a chat. But I had a look at the United side and how many positions I would strengthen in the window, and it's quite frightening. I think there was 6 players in this current side who held a place in my team personally. So we'll talk about transfers different time, although I do want to ask you one question to do with transfers. We're asking all our guests this. If you could pick one player only, Phil, to sign this summer for United, who would it be?
Griezmann. Antoine Griezmann picking up in behind a Marcus Rashford who has the quality to open up defences. It's like we said earlier, it's the number one priority. Goals, creating goals, taking goals, Griezmann all day long.
Could you imagine a front three, by the way, and don't dribble at this, Phil, of Sanchez, Rashford, Griezmann?
Yeah, that's the type of quality you need. When you look at the other teams, when you look at Real Madrid, how far ahead they are of Manchester United at the moment. I mean, United are playing against essentially the Spanish Middlesbrough in Celta Vigo. Whenever Middlesbrough got to the Europa League final, you can't imagine Real Madrid at any time over the last 15 years struggling with Middlesbrough. United are, make no mistake about it, a long way to go before they reach that level. So that's the type of quality they need. They need proven winners this summer.
Yeah, I love that, by the way. That's my quote of the day. Celta Vigo, the Spanish Middlesbrough. I think that's what they played for at Old Trafford on Thursday to become the Spanish Middlesbrough. Phil, so just quickly, give me a prediction for the Europa League final. We're miles ahead. We'll get you on before that anyway to give us a proper insight before the game. What are you thinking? Is it going to be easy? Is it going to be hard? Are they going to score? Are we going to score? Well, hopefully we will score. What are you predicting? Are we Europa champions elect?
I do. I think with that John Guidetti miss, that's a name on the trophy moment. And I think Mourinho, all great managers are lucky managers. Mourinho has the luck, and I think United will win.
Yeah, I hope so. Anyway, Phil, thank you so much for coming on, buddy. We are
always
boxing
a pleasure, mate.
Ballers. We, of course, have conversations about the biggest talking points in boxing and football, and we have guys like Phil on regularly, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. Phil, thank you, buddy, and enjoy the lovely sunny weather out stateside, eh?
Yes, in California, yeah, it's beautiful, 85 degrees today. So thanks for having me on, Ben. Anytime, mate.
We're not jealous. Cheers, pal. Thank you. Take care.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. Bye-bye.